Hey everyone, we're back from Christmas break and spring 2026 is underway here at Williams Baptist University. If you're new to the LifeWork Podcast, this show is all about helping you recognize that your life work is God's calling on your life, shaping how you live, work, and serve. Today, WBU President Dr. Stan Norman sits down with our Dean of Students, Laquietta Stewart, to trace her journey from small-town Arkansas and church youth group to Williams, to becoming a record-setting rebounder and student leader, and eventually to serving students as Dean of Students. Here's today's episode of the LifeWork Podcast with Dr. Stan Norman and Dean of Students, Laquietta Stewart.
Today, we are blessed to have as our guest the Dean of Students at Williams Baptist University, Laquietta Stewart. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
So if my memory serves me correctly, you are wrapping up your first year here. Is that right?
Yes, right at 1 year. I got here in January 25.
It seems like you've been here forever.
I
bet it feels like it.
Yes, it does. In a good way.
Yeah. We may get into some of the interesting issues as much as we can in our second episode with you. But first, I just want our listeners to get to know Laquietta. And where did you grow up? Where was home for you in your early years?
Lake City, Arkansas.
And you lived there all your life until you went off to college?
Well, I started out in Imboden until I was 5. And then we moved to Lake City.
Okay.
And I went to school there at Riverside, K through 12.
And your family?
My family, I have...
I know your family was there with you.
Yes. Yeah. So, I have two older brothers. Well, one passed away in 2010, but and the other one lives in Mount Ida, Arkansas.
Are you the youngest?
I am.
That explains absolutely everything. It has now all fallen into place.
The youngest and the girl, yes.
Okay.
I was a brat, so.
And so what did your folks do for a living?
So my dad, when we lived in Imboden, he worked on a ranch. And so we had a couple horses there. Well, I don't think they were ours, but we rode them all the time and whatever. And then when we moved to Lake City, he was the head of the water and sewer department of Lake City.
Okay.
And so he worked on the water and sewer forever and ever. And he was also worked at we had a volunteer fire department, and he passed away in 2000.
Okay.
And he was the fire chief also for that. So.
Wow.
Yeah, and he also worked some part-time police, Lake City, small town, you do a little bit of everything, but little part-time policeman.
Did your mom work outside the home?
She was a waitress.
Okay.
There at Don's Dairy Freeze in Lake City, which does not exist. I wish it did. They had the best burgers. But
oh, wow.
Anyway, so she was just a waitress. And
okay, not just a waitress.
No,
she was a
waitress.
Yeah.
And a fantastic one.
I bet she was. So you grew up in a middle class, hardworking family.
Yes.
And grew up in church?
Well, I went to church at First Baptist in Lake City.
Okay.
And my parents didn't go with me. They were going to church earlier in my years, I think, and then as I got older, they didn't attend with me, except on like special occasions. But at First Baptist, a family actually, you'll probably be familiar with like Bart Barber's family.
I was sitting here wondering, do you know Bart Barber?
Yes, and his family actually took me in and like led me to Christ and all that stuff. Carolyn Barber, his mother, was a Sunday school teacher and stuff. And then his sister, Tracy, and Ronnie, as we got older, they were our Sunday school teacher and youth directors. And Tracy was also, at one point, my 7th or 8th grade history teacher. And so they're the ones that pretty much helped me grow up in church and took me on all the youth trips and to camps and stuff like that.
So are you and Bart the same age?
No, Bart is probably 4 or 5 years older than
Okay. I met his sister Tracy. I think when I spoke at Central Baptist in Jonesboro, I think she's a member there.
Yeah.
And I think she has come here once to campus. I know Bart brought one of his kids, I think it was a daughter, here to look at the school a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I don't think she came. Oh, well, she obviously didn't come here, but
yeah.
Bart and I go back a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and his younger sister, Ashley, she's like a year older than me, and so we went to school together. And anyway, everything.
So I beg my viewers or listeners for their pardon for just, I'm chasing a rabbit here. Do you know Missy Blankenship Miller? I think she and Bart were the same age. I think she also went to Lake City. They all went to school together. She would have been older than you.
I don't remember her.
Okay. We met her and her husband, Gordon, when I was serving out at Harvest. They're members there. And she would tell me stories about Bart being a real nerdy kid.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, yeah. I mean, he was, but he, he, like I said, I was never in high school with him because he was older or anything, but I'm in church, he was I just remember thinking he was a genius. And then.
Well, he's still pretty smart.
Oh, yeah, I know. And then, he preached at the church even as a young man before he got out of high school and stuff like that. And I just remember him. I just really thought he was, really awesome. And he is,
I hope he's not going to listen to this. He doesn't need any more. So getting back to you, so this family, others, I'm assuming, were probably instrumental in.
Sure, there was Debbie and Terry Mays. I don't know if you know them either. But
I don't.
Anyway, they were youth group members too. Not members, but like leaders. And anyway, between them and the Barbers.
So you said something a moment ago. I want to circle back to, and that was, for a while your family went with you to church, and then you kept going when they kind of stopped.
Well, they didn't go with me. I don't remember them going. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But my mother has told me that. They used to go all the time, and that they were real involved when I was younger. And I guess that might have been an emboldened. I don't recall.
So what was it about church for you that you continued to go when maybe the rest of the family wasn't as faithful?
Well, of course, I went with some of my friends, and
so it was a bit the social thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was social, and then I guess I was an athlete there at Lake City at Riverside or whatever. And, Ronnie Smith, Tracy's husband, he's a big fan and all that stuff. And Terry Mays, which is Debbie, the people that were in my youth group. And we played basketball. They played against me outside, street ball and stuff. And I just, whoop up on them and stuff. It was fun. But, they just, I guess, and then I got saved. I guess it was 1985 when I got baptized.
How old were you?
12.
Okay. Tell me about that. How did that come about?
Well, I was 11. Sorry, I got. So I had been going to church different places and just kind of with some friends, and I went to a local Pentecost church and stuff. And there was a revival there, so my friend invited me, and I went. And anyway, and I actually, I guess the Holy Spirit was talking to me a little bit then, and I asked the preacher questions after, and he's like, and he told me I wasn't ready, and so I went to. Then I started going. I think I was invited to like a church camp or something, and then, because we went to Mount Zion church camp there in Walcott every year and all that stuff. Then I started going to that the First Baptist Church, and anyway, and I got saved. Then, and I got baptized on Mother's Day.
Wow.
And that my mom and dad was there. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And then I guess that's it. I mean, I gotta say that's it. Like it's nothing, but it was awesome.
So it was at a church service. You went down and the pastor prayed with you or somebody, Sunday school?
And that's the part where I'm like, when did this really happen? Honestly.
Well, and the issue for you is it's more important that it did than be able to parse out all the particulars.
Right, because I was young, but I remember being baptized.
Yeah.
And I remember getting saved prior to, and it was, I'm trying to think of the preacher's name at the time. I mean, I'm totally blank. He was there for a long, long time.
Well, don't hurt yourself. It's
I know.
okay. It'll come to you tonight.
But anyway, yeah, it will. But I don't remember if it was at youth camp or church or whatever. I don't recall.
So you made this decision at 11, 12 years of age, 6th, 7th grade, somewhere in there?
Yes.
Okay. So you continue to go to church.
Yes.
And you continue to grow in your faith. You're involved in the youth group and church, First Baptist there in Lake City. And while this is going on, you're an athlete.
Right.
Now, were your brothers athletes too? Or were you the one?
Well, the middle son, I mean, he played basketball some, but he had like you hear of a pigeon chest. I don't know. It's kind of like a deep in his chest. It's kind of sunken. I don't know. Anyway, and he had to quit playing ball because if he got hit in it hard enough, it'd kill him. So,
oh wow!
But he played for a long time. But that's about it. He coached me whenever I was in like 5th and 6th grade, and they needed volunteer coaches and stuff. He coached me.
So you started pretty young.
Oh yeah.
Was it basketball all the way, or did you do other things too?
Well, Lake City didn't have much offerings, at the time. So we had basketball.
Yeah.
And then later in high school, they had tennis. So I played those. And I played softball earlier in my years, and but didn't really get into that as much. But I wanted to swim at the pool all summer,
Mm-hmm. So you're playing ball. You get into high school. Were you pretty good?
Well, that's funny you say. Apparently, I was, and but I was one of those that I didn't know until I started getting recruiting by Coach Halford. If you know what I mean, I just went to the gym. I had a key to the gym. My coach Dunnigan, as a high school, there was an old gym in Caraway because we consolidated with Caraway, Lake City Caraway. So the old gym in Caraway, he got tired of me coming by his house to get the key to go to the gym, so he just gave it to me, and I'd just go in there, and I'd go play by myself and shoot, and I'd get my dad, he bought me some shoes that had the funny-looking feet on the bottom, so I'd learn jump higher, and did all these exercises and did all this stuff. I don't know. I just liked the game.
I was about to ask you, what was it about basketball that was attractive to you?
I just liked the game. I didn't, and you don't even think about if I was good or not. I just wanted to play. So, and then,
Was your high school team pretty good?
We were pretty decent. I mean, I started as when I got up to the high school at 10th grade, I was a starter with some seniors. Okay. And they were pretty good. And then, then we were pretty young the next couple of years. I mean, well, the next year for sure. But we did okay.
So as all this is going on in your life, you've made your decision to follow Christ, you're involved in church, youth group, you're involved in high school, probably lots of extracurricular activities, your schoolwork and basketball and other sports. From the vantage point that you have now looking back, what was God doing in your life in that season of your life?
Well, so, I went to the youth camps and stuff, and Tracy Barber, Tracy Smith is her name, whatever. She always was our person that took us and whatever. And then the next years, as I got older, I was becoming one of the counselors at the camps for the younger youth. And anyway, and so I would go twice a year. I mean, I'd go as a participant, and then I'd go as a counselor. And so those things, and then some of my friends, as we got into high school, they got to smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol and stuff like that. And that just wasn't my thing at all. Me and my friend Mel, and she wasn't a basketball player. She was my manager, I think. But, and we just didn't get into that. And we stuck to our guns. We'd drive them home, or something, and they were still our friends, but we just didn't get into that.
So what I'm hearing you say is that as you continue to mature, grow up, you are also involved in some leadership responsibilities. Counselor at camp, apparently setting a good example and a standard for your high school peers at high school.
Right.
Growing in your faith.
Right. And all those, yeah. It's a process. We're leading to where I'm at now. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Okay, so continuing the story of your journey, you graduate high school, and what's going on in Laquietta's life?
Well, it's funny you ask.
Well, that's what we're here for.
So, being the Lake City girl I was, small town, I was actually engaged as a senior in high school.
I have not heard this story. Did not know this. Okay.
So, and I was engaged to a young man he was a senior when I was a sophomore, and then we dated, and then he went into the military, and the plan was I was supposed to get married June 6, 1992. I had a wedding dress. I had everything planned. And then Coach Halford started calling in that spring, kind of a late recruit, whatever, and she ended up because I was going to get married, move to Texas. That's where he was at, whatever. And she ended up.
So college really wasn't on the radar.
No,
or get married, go to college wherever you were.
Well, yeah, or even I didn't know about college.
Really?
You know what I mean? I had no idea about. I was so green, to be honest. And everybody said you're going to go to college. Yeah, sure, whatever. And but my goal was, I guess, to get married and figure it out. And so anyway, Coach Hafford ended up calling my fiance, and she did. She called him, and he told me, he's like, you need to take this opportunity to go and play basketball and go as a scholarship.
Goodness.
Yeah. And so
Coach Halford called the
she did.
fiance.
She did.
And he recruited you.
Yes. Because then I listened to him, not my coach, not her. I just wasn't sure what I was doing. And when he told me, we can do this later, you do this. And so I was like, okay. So here I was. And I went and, again, small town, I hadn't been out much. A big meal and a dinner was like at the Bonanza in Paragould, so, and so coming here, and going to all these ball games across this country and eating at all these restaurants I'd never been, all these things. And so, it was a different world.
Laquietta went to town.
I went to town. And then I grew, me and the fiance, kind of grew apart, and so that ended. I kind of ended that because I don't know, my college journey was different. I didn't want to get married anymore. And so, and that was good because he changed, I changed, and anyway, and so I just kind of enjoyed the rest of my college years.
So tell me about coming to Williams. So you graduate, you get recruited. As a freshman, you're on the varsity squad?
Yes.
Is that right? Were you starting as a freshman?
No, I wasn't, but so that's funny. You asked that too. I was actually like the 6th or 7th man. I came in at the beginning of the year quite a bit, and then Coach Hafford got mad at me, and so then she literally sit me on the bench for about 10 games in a row. I mean, she was just mad at me. And I mean, that's a whole nother podcast, but
we will go there eventually.
But anyway, I mean, I literally, and she even put in the walk on, that was here as a walk on. She put them in the game when we were getting, beating somebody to death, and put them in before me. I mean, she was just really mad at me. And I say 10 games. I don't know if it was really 10, but it was pretty close because it was really, and I went home for the Christmas break, and I cried, and I was like, I hate her. I don't like her. She's mean to me, blah, blah, blah. And, I told my dad, I don't want to be there. And I struggled. academically because I had never learned to study. I did really well in high school, but I didn't know how to study. I didn't know college. I didn't know anything about college. Nobody in my family had ever been to college, so I didn't know what to expect. And so, my dad was like, you go this semester, finish it out, and then we'll talk about it later. Just go and finish it. So then I came back. Coach Hafford had put me into a 2-hour study hall with some seniors in the library twice a week, teaching me how to study. And then, I knew the turning point with she and I after, I was on work study, and I worked in the gym. We used to have somebody sit at the front table and just keep the gym open and lock the doors and all that stuff a long time ago. And I knew it was a turning point between she and I when she was going out of town, and she gave me the keys to the gym and said, Laquietta, I need you to take care of this and lock it up. And I thought, okay, she likes me now. So that
all's forgiven, whatever it was.
Whatever it was. Well, yeah. Well, I know a little bit of it was because I remember her getting mad at me, and it's ironic because it was about rebounding. I rebounded there in practice or something, and I didn't keep it up high. I brought it down, and somebody swatted it, and she threw her keys from one end of the gym to the other and told me to get out of here and go to the dorm and whatever. So anyway, it started there where we had issues. But anyway, now it's all better. Now we're like really good friends. And even since she gave me the keys to the gym, and then I started every year from then on. And
so what is God doing in your life? You get on campus, you're involved in basketball, you're learning how to be a college student. What's the Lord doing?
To be honest with you, I was still going to church at home some, and then I honestly got to where I wasn't and I wasn't going as much. I went to a few with some people, church a few times, but to be honest with you, I think I got so caught up in everything else that now he was always there and in the back of my mind, but I was not a good following.
Was that the whole time, or was there a turning point sometime in college where that began to turn around?
Well, really college, yeah. I mean, I listened in chapel, and we had it in the gym at the time, and had different speakers and stuff, and I'd sit up there with the athletes, and we'd write notes or whatever. But I was listening, and I still had, but I just wasn't living up to what I needed to do at the time.
So when was the turning point then?
Years later, to be honest with you. I went into my career after college. I actually, right after I graduated, I was working, and then I started my graduate program in school counseling in January of 97. And then anyway, and so, because I knew I wanted to be a school counselor.
Okay.
And I got that through, because I don't know, I always was the one that some of my players and teammates and stuff came to whenever it was bad or something happened. And so that, being responsible and helping them out and being able to talk them through stuff, I was that person somehow, some way. So I knew I wanted to do something like that since I was going to be in education. And so I went to Marion. Marion was my first job. I started in January of 98. And I worked there for 17 years. And I actually I went to church at a Methodist church.
Okay.
To join the choir. I got recruited to kind of join in the choir and hang out, and do adults things. And so I did all that, but God was always there. I just wasn't as close. And I think I've told you this before in my faith statement, is I just wasn't getting that conviction that I needed, So I was just living my life as I wanted to and doing my things, and single, dating the wrong people, and anyway, and so.
Well, what I want to do is I want to come back in our next episode, pick it up here. But I do want to circle back around for one final observation. Our listeners may not know that you were a pretty good ball player here, weren't you?
I was okay. I couldn't shoot really well. I was a garbage basket kind of gal. Like, if you shoot it, I'm going to get the rebound and put it back up.
In fact, you hold the school record for that, don't you?
I do.
Most rebounds by a female basketball player here.
I do.
What is that, like 20? 30? How many is that?
What?
Do you know the number?
Of the number the record, I think it's like 800 and something. I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you.
Goodness, that is a lot of rebounds.
Yeah.
Well, good on you.
Yeah, thanks.
I think that is one of the most needed and underappreciated parts of the game.
I think you can win ball games with.
I think they do win ball games. If you can
rebounding.
Control the boards, you will control the game.
Absolutely. You hear that, Coach Mayberry? Coach Austin, block out, rebound.
Yes.
Don't just jump for the ball, block out.
That's right. Well, thank you for being on this episode. Delighted to have you here today, and I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation in the next one. You good with that?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
We'll do it.
All right.